At Thanksgiving dinner, my sister raised her glass and said, "We voted, and you're no longer family." Everyone cheered, until I dropped a folder on the table that made her scream. What was inside that folder unraveled years of secrets, lies, and manipulation, and by the time dinner was over, I wasn't the one being cut off. At Thanksgiving dinner, my sister raised her glass and said, "We voted, and you're no longer family." Everyone cheered, until I dropped a folder on the table that made her scream. What was inside that folder unraveled years of secrets, lies, and manipulation. And by the time dinner was over, I wasn't the one being cut off. Thanksgiving was always a performance, in our house. Warm lights, forced smiles, and a table too perfect to be real. The smell of rosemary and roasted turkey floated through the air like a trap, disguising the rot underneath. I sat at the far end, sipping cider, pretending this was just another dinner. But something in the air was off, tight, rehearsed. Forks paused mid-air. Chatter died. And then she stood up. Vanessa. Hair curled to perfection, lipstick untouched, fake warmth dripping from every movement. She clinked her wine glass like she was announcing a wedding toast. And I knew before she even opened her mouth that she was about to burn me at the stake, and smile while doing it. "Before we carve the turkey," she said, eyes sparkling, with venomous glee, "there's something we need to say." Silence fell like a hammer. Every eye turned to her. I clenched my jaw. That tone, so sweet it curdled my stomach, was the same one she used when she got me grounded at 14 for a party I wasn't even at. "We had a family vote," she continued, glancing around the table like a pageant queen awaiting her crown. "And we've decided you're not part of this family anymore." The room didn't gasp. No one protested. Instead, cheering. Tessa, my cousin, clapped like she was at a damn concert. Uncle Leo raised his wine glass in a toast. And my mother, Carla, the woman who brought me into this world, laughed. "Well," she said, grinning, "someone had to say it." I stared down at my plate. The stuffing had gone cold, but my blood boiled. My father, Rick, didn't even glance my way. Just sipped his beer and muttered, "Probably for the best." It was theater, all of it. Rehearsed lines and perfect timing, a hit job disguised as a holiday. "Wow," I said, my voice calm, steady. "You guys actually practiced this." Vanessa's grin widened, triumphant. "You've been toxic for years. Evan, we're done pretending." My mother nodded, reaching for the cranberry sauce like we were discussing the weather. "It's unanimous." I looked around. Not one person spoke up. Not one hand reached across the table. Good. I reached into my bag. "I figured this might happen," I said, pulling out a thick folder and placing it gently in the center of the table. It landed with a dull thunk, a sound that cut straight through their laughter. Vanessa blinked. "What is that?" I smiled, leaned back in my chair, and folded my arms. "Why don't you find out?" She snatched it up, flipping the cover open, with a smirk, then froze. Her face went pale. Eyes widened. She turned the page. Then she screamed. Vanessa's scream was still echoing when Brent yanked the folder from her hands. He didn't say a word, just flipped it open and read. His face went slack. Jaw dropped. Eyes locked on the pages like they were written in fire. The room that had erupted with laughter only minutes earlier fell so quiet, you could hear the ice melt in someone's untouched drink. "It's all real," I said, my voice steady. "Every word, every receipt." Carla's mouth opened, then closed again. Tessa stopped mid-sip. Even Uncle Leo put his glass down. "You want to know what was in that folder? Fine. But first, let me tell you what made me build it. This didn't start tonight. This wasn't spontaneous. It was earned, brick by brick, betrayal by betrayal. Vanessa, my sister, the golden child, the family's star, was always the one who shined. Straight teeth, fake charm, and lies polished to a high gloss. She could do no wrong. And me, I was the quiet one, the stable one, the one they leaned on, not because they loved me, but because I never said no. I paid for everything. Everything. My own college tuition, covered it myself, working 2 jobs. Vanessa's wedding. I footed half-dad's surgery when insurance didn't. Cut it. Won a $1,500 mom's mountain of credit card debt. $12,000, gone in a blink. Tessa's college move-in. $6,000, even Brent's rehab stint. Yep, $8,000. All me, all told, $78,000 over 5 years, and not one of them offered to pay me back. Not once. Instead, they joked about it at dinner. Oh, Evan brought wine. Must be nice to afford the good stuff. You're early. No kids to slow you down. Maybe if you weren't so cold, you wouldn't be alone. And yeah, I was alone. No partner, no kids. Just me and my work and my dog. But that didn't make me weak. It made me useful. At least in their eyes. Until the one time I said no. Vanessa wanted me to co-sign on a loan for her and Brent's new wellness cafe. I said no. Politely. Firmly. That's when the silence began. Blocked. Ghosted. Removed from the group chat. Mom stopped calling. Dad sent one-word replies. Suddenly, I was toxic. So I got quiet, but not idle. I gathered everything. Bank transfers. Email chains. Screenshots. A full timeline of who asked for what, when, and why. I even had the private thread where Vanessa called me a cash cow with no spine. Brent found the entry that broke him, $4,200 charged to his own card. A hotel stay in Seaside Bay with a woman named Marissa. He looked up at Vanessa, and for the first time all night, she had nothing to say. Brent stared at the line in the folder like it had slapped him. His finger traced the transaction, $4,200, a hotel in Seaside Bay. The name beside it was like a gunshot in the room. Marissa. He turned to Vanessa, voice barely above a whisper, but laced with steel. Who's Marissa? Vanessa's eyes darted to me, to Brent, to the folder. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. Don't start, she snapped, voice rising. Brent didn't flinch. You said it was a wellness retreat, that you were meeting investors. Why were you at a hotel for 3 nights, on my card, with someone named Marissa? Her silence said everything. That's when Carla jumped in, her voice shaky and desperate. Can we all just calm down? This is Thanksgiving. We shouldn't be fighting like this. I turned to her slowly, meeting her gaze with a fire I'd held back for far too long. Calm down? You called me a parasite, Carla, and you did it while cashing the check I sent you to keep your lights on. She blinked, stunned. Rick finally spoke from the head of the table, rubbing his temples like all of this was just an inconvenience. You're making this bigger than it is, Evan. I snapped. No, I growled. You let them do this for years. You saw it. You heard it. Every dig, every guilt trip, every dollar I poured into this family while they laughed behind my back. And you did nothing. You chose silence. The tension exploded. Vanessa slammed both palms on the table. Oh, get over yourself. You're not a victim, Evan. You chose to help. No one forced you. I stood, slow and deliberate. And you expected it every single time, until it wasn't help anymore. It was duty. You didn't want a brother. You wanted a wallet with legs. You don't get to play the martyr, she shouted. You think this makes you the hero? Printing screenshots? Bringing a folder to dinner? You're just a control freak looking for an audience. No, I said, my voice like stone. I'm done being controlled, and I'm done being useful only when you need to be rescued. Brent stood too, still holding the folder, his voice cold now. Is this true? he asked her quietly. All of it? Vanessa looked at him. No fake tears, no gaslighting this time. Just silence, the kind that speaks volumes. You made it sound like he was crazy, Brent whispered. I looked at him. She didn't need help making me look crazy. She just needed you to keep ignoring the truth. Vanessa's face twisted, her composure cracking like thin ice. I had to. You were turning everyone against me. I didn't even raise my voice. I just said, you did that all by yourself. Silence again, the kind that strangles. And then, I reached into my coat pocket. What now? Rick asked, exhausted. I dropped another envelope onto the table. Brent caught it before it slid off. He opened it, read the first line. His eyes widened. What is this? He whispered. I answered for him. Power of attorney forms for mom. Revoked. Medical proxy. Revoked. Emergency contact. Removed. Every legal tie I had to this family? Gone. Signed. Finalized. Filed. Carla gasped. You're cutting ties? Completely? Completely, I said. Starting now. Her voice cracked, tears finally forming. You're being selfish. We made mistakes, but we're still your family. I turned to her, calm and final. No, you're not. Vanessa let out a bitter laugh. You'll come crawling back. You always do. I stepped away from the table, looking at her one last time. Not this time. Then I turned my back and walked out. No apology. No goodbye. Just the stunned silence of people who had finally run out of leverage. I didn't go home right after I walked out of that house. My hands were still shaking, not from fear, but from release. From finally dropping a weight I'd carried for years. I drove without thinking, let instinct take the wheel, and somehow I ended up at Lake Morgan, the place Dad used to take me fishing when I was a kid, back when life felt quieter, simpler, honest. The air was still, the surface of the lake, untouched. No screaming, no demands, no guilt draped in fake affection. Just cold wind, trees rustling, and the sound of my own breathing. And for the first time in years, I could hear myself think. No one was asking for money. No one was watching me with calculating eyes. No one needed a favor, or a ride, or a last-minute bailout disguised as a family emergency. There was no manipulation lurking in the silence. Just peace. That night, I sat by the water and let the stillness soak into my bones. The next day, I made an appointment with a doctor, then a dentist, then a therapist. Not because I was broken, but because I finally had permission to take care of me. My calendar, for once, wasn't filled with the chaos of other people's crises. It was quiet, intentional, mine. But peace, of course, is never welcome in toxic circles, and it didn't take long before they tried to shatter it. Carla's voice filled my voicemail first. We're still your family, Evan. We were angry, but don't let one night ruin everything. Then Vanessa, dripping in venom. Brent's divorcing me. Are you happy now? Rick, as emotionless as ever. You went too far. Your mother is a wreck. Come fix this. I didn't respond. Not once. And the silence burned them more than any words ever could. Then came the season of guilt. December 22nd, I got a text from Carla. A photo of their living room. Stockings half hung, a fake tree blinking with weak lights, and a wide, empty space where the presents used to be. The caption, "It doesn't feel the same without you." December 23rd. Lily keeps asking why Uncle isn't coming this year. 2 minutes later. Mom and Dad are behind on the mortgage. I know you don't care anymore, but the bank called. Today, December 24th. Rick again. You made your point. Enough is enough. We need help. I said nothing. And then, February, a letter. No return address, but I recognized Carla's handwriting before I even opened it. 3 pages. Page 1. Regret. We were under stress. We didn't mean it. Page 2. Guilt. Rick's health is worse. Vanessa's falling apart. Lily's confused. Alone. Page 3. The real reason. We're selling the house. We're underwater. Please help one last time. Do it for the family. I read it. Sat with it. Let the guilt swirl around me. And then die. Then I folded the letter in half, walked to the kitchen, and dropped it straight into the trash. Because that letter wasn't love. It was access. And I'm done being the open door. It finally clicked for me. What they wanted wasn't reconciliation. It was access. They didn't miss me. They missed the lifeline. The open wallet. The quiet, compliant son and brother who never said no. They missed the version of me who sacrificed, silently, and apologized for being tired. Once I saw that clearly, everything else became simple. I packed my life and moved to Brighton Point. New city. New air. New keys to a place that belonged to no one but me. I got a job I actually liked, one that didn't drain the life out of me. I started sleeping through the night. No buzzing phone jolting me awake. No guilt boiling under my skin. Just rest. I blocked every number, every email, every shared account. Shut every door they used to walk through like they owned the place. For the first time in my life, I wasn't guarding a dam about to burst. I was free. And with that space, something strange happened. I came back to life. I reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in years. People I pushed away because I was too busy with family. I started volunteering at a local shelter. Not because someone needed me, but because I wanted to give, without being bled dry in return. Then the echoes came. Tessa messaged me. I didn't know you paid for my tuition. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. Brent reached out next. You were right. Everything in that folder was true. She lied to me too. I filed the papers. I should have listened to you years ago. If you ever need anything, I'm here. I didn't expect that. And I didn't need anything. But the offer, that felt real. Then came the final whisper from the past. A letter from Carla. 3 words, scrawled in shaky handwriting. We're still family. No context. No apology. Just the same old bait, repackaged in false warmth. I stared at it, waiting for the sadness, the sting, the guilt. But I felt nothing. No anger, no ache, no weight. Just peace. I tossed the letter, washed my hands, and made dinner. And now I'm here, telling you this because for the first time I'm not surviving out of obligation. I'm living by choice. Was I too cold? Or was I just done being the only one holding it all together? I don't know. But I do know this. I'm free. And finally, that's enough.